Hi, I'm Dr. Chinmayie, consultant at GarbhaGudi IVF Center, Jayanagar. Today I'll be talking about laptops and male infertility. We would have heard many a times that laptops do have impact on fertility. So how it going to affect especially males is what I'm going to tell you in this session. So we know if you look at the incidence of male infertility among the general population, about 40% of infertile patients is because of males. So another 50% is because of females. Another 10% is unexplained, where we don't know what is the causes. So that is the percentage of male infertility that has increased today, and we see in the last 20 to 20 years we have seen definitely there is a rising trend in male infertility. Why so? Because of mainly why do we see this increase in male infertility trend is mainly because of the changes in our lifestyles, our sedentary lifestyle, especially sitting for long hours and working, changes in our habits, less of exercise, use of recreational substances. So all these things put together, plus our diet put together, has increased the chances or have increased the incidence of infertility among males as well. So one of the most common reasons that we see, especially in urban population today, in a city like Bangalore, is how these laptops are among people who use more of Wi-Fi exposure, more of laptop usage, how it increases infertility among them. So we should, before coming to it, we should know that these testicles are placed inside the scrotum, and the scrotum is placed outside the body, where the temperature in the scrotum is about 1 degree lesser than that of the general body temperature. This is very, very important to maintain this temperature. This is because that little lower temperature is required for normal spermatogenesis, meaning the temperature for normal sperm production is always slightly lesser. So what happens when somebody uses laptops for long hours, especially when they keep it on their laps and they work for about 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, it has been proven that it can increase the heat production in the scrotal region. So whenever there is increase in heat production, it affects the spermatogenesis, or the sperm production is drastically affected. So there are studies where they have seen how many hours of sitting or how many hours of this laptop usage affects. So it has shown about 3 to 4 hours of continuous laptop usage increases the scrotal temperature by about 2 to 3 degrees. As I told you before, the scrotal temperature should be 1 degree lesser than that of the general body temperature. But when they use laptops for longer hours, especially more than 3 or 4 hours continuously, the temperature increases by 2 to 3 degrees. So what happens that time is the sperm production gets affected. So there is more of the cells which results in the formation of healthy sperms will undergo apoptosis, or will undergo damage, because of which the maturity of the sperm gets affected. There is improper, the motility of the sperms will reduce, chances of pregnancies will come down. So this is how usage of laptops for long hours, especially when they keep on their lap and they work, that can affect the male fertility. It's not only the heat or the scrotal hyperthermia, what we call, which will affect spermatogenesis. Along with that, even the exposure to electromagnetic waves frequencies have shown that it has got a very significant impact on human body, of which one is most studied today is the sperm parameters. So whenever you're working with, be it computers and office, we know we are exposed to so much of radiations around us. So to just classify these radiations, there are two types. One is ionizing and non-ionizing. When I talk about ionizing, these are the X-rays radiation that you're exposed to, which is seen in only a small percentage of patients, for a small percentage of people, but most of them are exposed themselves into non-ionizing radiations, such as exposure to Wi-Fi's, microwaves, computers. So all those radiations get absorbed into human body. So when they get absorbed into the human body, especially we know that testicles is a place where there is a continuous production, a continuous division of cell that keeps on taking place, where the sperm is being produced every day. So especially organs which are where continuous production is happening, they are the ones which are most drastically affected by these magnetic waves. So once they get absorbed into the body, that causes cell damage. We know there is a DNA content in each sperm, so that undergoes damage because these radiations release certain free radicals in those cells. So these free radicals will not allow further growth of the cell to happen. Because of that, there is damage. Again, the number of sperms can come down. Second thing is the motility will come down. And third thing what we see is increased DNA fragmentation, meaning there is increased damage to the DNA content within the sperms. They'll undergo breakage. Because of that, what happens is, one is natural pregnancy chances can drop down because it does not have that capacity to fertilize a healthy egg, and as a result there is raising infertility. Second thing is, it also not only affects fertility but also can increase the chances of miscarriages, because such sperms which have led to pregnancies which have got a lot of DNA damage in them, they cannot lead to a healthy pregnancy, because of which miscarriage risks are very, very high. So how do we overcome this things, or how long should we get exposed to ourselves is one of the most debated question, and very difficult to answer it also. But some studies have shown a continuous prolonged exposure for 25-30 minutes of electromagnetic waves, or be it exposure to the sitting in a heated environment. When we sit and work for a longer time, not only as I told you, exposure to electromagnetic waves, when you're sitting and keeping the laptop on your laps, the heat increases and that causes sperm damage. Even sitting position, you might keep the laptop on the table, but if you're sitting for long hours, that also will increase the heat around the scrotal region and can cause sperm damage. So what we should do, whenever you're working with the system, try to take breaks every 15-20 minutes, walk for about 5 minutes and come back, so that that rise in temperature can be avoided. Second thing, exposure to electromagnetic waves, very difficult to avoid in today's scenario, but try avoiding keeping the mobiles in the pockets, in the pant pockets, not to use mobiles while sleeping, or keeping the laptop on the lap and watching something and sleeping. We see that many people doing these days. Try avoiding screen time, unnecessary screen time as much as possible. So by doing all these things, one can overcome the ill effects that can cause by these electromagnetic waves, or excess heat, or laptop usage on the fertility. So this is how laptop usage for long hours can definitely affect male infertility. So one needs to be careful while using laptops. Thank you.